So we're waking up here sometime later, sometime beyond from where we were before. We are living on a rock floating in space, but that doesn't change the fact that we're trying to become the Ice Baron of Keen Server North America number 6, or whatever number it is. Either way, let's go outside. I got stuff to show you. It's really cool. There's our home, the ice moon of... I actually forget what planet this is paired with. Oh, yes, the ice moon of Mars in the Space Engineers universe. And this is our little base. We're just kind of looking to expand and see where we go from there. Now, I have a few things going. We have a little vehicle here. We have our refinery assembler and everything. This did get lost in an episode, but that's okay. We can continue from here. We've marked some ores that are around us in these lovely colors. We haven't found anything very rare, but we did find things that are important, such as ice. So let's see how this goes. I'm thinking I want to get these thrusters set up and maybe get some sort of space hydrogen outpost going, because we are trying to be an ice baron, and I did find a rock made of ice. Very important. It's only 12 kilometers away from where I landed after shooting myself off from the surface of our ice planet over there. Let's go ahead and turn on all the ores, actually. I'm curious as to what is closest. So this gold rock is on the planet itself. Now, from what I understand, most rocks have more than one ore, but I have only been able to find one. So I think if we do have enough ice in the system, and therefore enough hydrogen in our vehicle, okay. I think I'm going to go with a large ore detector on this device, or this miner here, so that we can get all the ores that we need to survive. So let's get an ore detector. We do have a small one, I believe, on here. Or not. This is the second miner. The first one was lost in space, and it's probably been taken away from me by now. No. Actually, I think it's still drifting off into oblivion. Interesting. But that's okay. We can take an ore detector and place it on here, and then we'll grab a large grid ore detector and get it on here. So for that, we're going to need a rotor and an ore detector, which we already have. All right, cool. All right, so let's get kind of a platform going here for this ore detector. I think sticking it along the top is probably our safest bet. We got our large rotor. Well, the larger of the small ship rotors. We'll go ahead and... Oh, I'm trying to use Build Vision. Ah, yes, Build Vision. For those of us that are able to use mods. Alright, advanced rotor. Can I add a large head? No, I can only add a small head. So I'll have to add I'll have to build a large ore detector just sitting next to us. An attempt to slowly drive our ship into this large ore detector. So that's everything we gathered. By the sounds of it, we're almost done with production, except we couldn't get those steel plates because I think I used them to start framing out this section here. Alright, that is a large grid ore detector. I'm going to build it up since I'm likely to smack it into stuff and other things floating around. So we will build everything to the maximum because I tend to crash or to violently impact surfaces. That's probably a better description. Alright, there we go. Now it's just a matter of connecting it. Now I could go the route of third-personing it, depending on how... Yeah, we have a pretty good view in third person. Alright, let's go ahead and disconnect. And then we'll turn off the connector so we could avoid the unpleasantness of the magnets trying to pull us towards it when we're this close. Almost. I'm sure at some point we'll be able to attach this rotor once we're lined up perfectly. It's nice doing this in space because there's nothing this is just floating around. Aha, we've attached. Alright, so now we have this large rotor on our vehicle here. We can go ahead and lock the rotor so it stays in place. And we can fly on over to something like the nickel rock. And we can see what other ores might be visible for us here. Let's go ahead and grab the ore detector and we can extend its range to 50 meters? No, to 150 meters. So while it's not the best range, because this isn't modded, we do have a little bit of a better ability to pull up on the asteroid and see what it might have for us. Already benefiting, we're 150 meters away and we've found more nickel. We've found even more nickel. Lovely. It doesn't look like there's anything else here for us. That's okay. I'm going to go towards the cobalt rock. And we're going to try to get some more cobalt, because I believe we were out of cobalt that was needed for these thrusters. Alright, we do have quite a bit in the medium cargo container. Let's head on around and see what other materials might be found in this cobalt rock. Oh, we have ice. That's useful. If we are to become the Ice Baron, ice is very useful for us. It looks like it's deeper in the rock, so we might not be able to access it from here, but that's okay. There we go. Now the cobalt and ice rock. Oh, the and symbol is not part of the stuff we're okay to use for here. That's fine. So while we're around, we can go check out a rock like this one over here, which seems to be close enough that we can get there in a reasonable amount of time. So far, it looks like nothing, actually, which is unfortunate. Oh! There's ice. This rock has ice in its core. As you start to come in, you get a scale of just how big this thing is. Things in Space Engineers are huge, but the scale is sometimes lost. Okay, and these ones are ice rocks, since they contain ice in the rock. Not everyone whose ship needs ice is going to be able to traverse to a planet's surface, so we'll have to set up a little space station here to sell our ice. But if we start setting up our ice base now, we could definitely get some materials going. So why not go to that ice rock that's nearby, gather the ice from there, and then build the base on this rock. Why on this rock? Well, we have magnesium for dealing with unruly customers, and we also keep our secret ice rock away from the prying eyes of the public. Oh, I see we have a fan of Frank on the server. That's fantastic. Well, if you don't know, Frank is in my other series. He is what I call the respawn ship anytime I spawn in it. It is called Frank. Alright, so what do we need for these guys? We probably... It might have been time that I was running short on, actually. We have our refinery going. Oh, and Uneasy Archer is reminding you to do a very fun thing, and that is subscribe to the It's Totally Joseph YouTube channel. I know everyone is saying it, but you're under no obligation to do so. I don't know why I'm talking like this. It's kind of weird. I just kind of started speaking this way. I don't know why, but here we are. So once we have all of these thrusters put on, I'm probably going to start like occupying these extra ports, because if I put a thruster here, that'll be in line with that one. And then I could put another top and bottom thruster just to keep this thing thrusting. And then we can do those thrusters to improve acceleration, but I think these thrusters are good for now. So I'm thinking of announcing our position by placing a large amount of like satellites, like advertisement satellites, essentially billboards with like maximum range, and just kind of shooting them off towards all the major planets. And just letting those billboards fly through space. We can advertise using Newton's first law and just push the objects towards worlds. Maybe we'll just push them straight towards it, and we'll let people get the coordinates of the base. We'll put, you know, our beacon and everything. We should get some hydrogen tanks going as soon as we can. But yeah, once we get there, I think that'll be pretty cool. We will be able to sell our ice. But for now, I think we need to get our facilities started. So I think if we go there and construct a little drilling machine, we should be good to gather a whole bunch of ice. So let's start our mine. Huh. Alright, for a mine, we're probably going to need lots of metal. So we're going to have the steel plates go for a little while. Get about 1,000 going. And then once we have a whole bunch of steel plates, we'll go ahead and start laying out the large ice base. Alright, so I think this is what we need to basically get the base started. We're not going to gather ice in it yet. We are going to start to build the frame. So let's go ahead and grab everything we can that we stuck on our build plan. I think all we're going to need is the solar panels and the battery and essentially the frame for the large cargo container. Then that'll be pretty nice. Now, while we wait for this to produce, I think we have enough materials that we should just be able to frame out the facility. So let's go ahead and disconnect here and let's travel over and see what kind of frame we can get. We'll keep the large ore detector on since we need something to keep it powered so we don't lose it. Might have been a good idea to put a merge block on the bottom of our rotor, or we could power it independently using small batteries, just so the ore detector can sit idle and not despawn. We're going to start to slow down around 2 kilometers. And there might be a perfectly defensible ice-based position in this cave. Good, good. Look at this cave. We have so many crevasses to put ice in. So if we build it down in here, we could start drilling through the asteroid and also poke our solar panels out the top and the bottom so that we have power all the time. And there we go. We'll fill up our inventory with ice. And then we'll use the ship's right-click drilling option to create the holes necessary to place the solar panels. So what I'm planning to do is, oh, this is beautiful. A nice ice mining facility. Can't you see the views that the automated mining machinery will get? Fantastic. Okay. We want our robots to have good views. We don't want them rebelling. So let's get our framing materials. All right, so for right now, I want to put this large square, but in this moment, what we're going to do is we're going to start placing the cargo container just here. Places like this, and that's fine because we're going to put the drill out this way and connectors on the other side, or on the top, so we'll be good. Because this thing has a bottom connector, and we're going to build all our ships in the future to have bottom connectors. Alright, so for right now, we should get a solar panel system going off the top. And like with the base over there, we're going to go with these lovely riveted panels to go straight out the top and into the sun, right? Then we'll get the ship and start right-click drilling through there, but first I must abandon the ore detector. But not to worry, I'm going to abandon it, oops. Going to abandon it over here. So that once we've come to a full and complete stop, we can grab our advanced ore detector, hit detach, and also attach. So that number 5 will separate us from our ore detector. And we can slowly move away from it. There we go. And now that we know where it is, we can always come back for it and pick it up. Try to be as straight as possible in accordance to this pole. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be a very long shaft for the panels to be attached to. Alright, it looks like we successfully cleared that out. Yep. And unfortunately, we did end up on the dark side of the rock, but that's okay. So I'm going to park this with the ore detector illuminated in front of it, just so I don't forget it. I'm actually out of steel plates. So I think we're going to have to head home here in a moment, unless I can start framing out how I'm going to add the mining equipment. We'll use the tubes, because those are more industrial. We'll add the nice end to it. And I think if we come out and just go up a little bit, cool. Alright, so let's reattach this ore detector and head home. 6. Nope, not yet. 6. That is attached. Okay. So let's head home. And there we are. Okay, cool. So since this is connected, we can start looking at how much the assembler has done. We have done enough to fill our inventory. There wasn't enough space in that cargo container. So we've done an inventory and a cargo container's worth so far. Hold on. The cargo containers are full. Well, let's check out the small cargo containers. And we'll get everything dumped on that. We might be short on silicon. It appears... Hold on. Yes, we are short on silicon since there is none in the system. The perils of being an ice baron. Needing basic materials. Do we have a silicon-based rock? I don't believe so. I think that's one of the issues we were having, is not being able to find silicon. So if we could put some yield and speed modules on, then we should be able to produce a little bit more from our stone. That'll be helpful. No. Oh, I see. Our panel here is blocking it. Wasn't the rocks at all, it was the panel. There we are. Okay, so now we have a yield, speed, yield, speed. Good. So I'm going to have to go to the planet below and grab some gold from that rock. Man, I would rather build my base, to be honest with you. So I think we're just going to grab some rocks and chuck some stone in there. Maybe put the speed module to help deal with the stone. Now, unfortunately, since we need more silicon, that's probably going to delay our plans for our ice base, or for our mining facility. All at least we need to do is get it powered and named so that it doesn't get removed. Because I think we can get one solar panel and a battery on there, and since it's not doing much, it's probably not going to require much power to keep it going. Alright, refinery, we're gonna have to take out some of this stuff that I know you like doing, but we're gonna have to start switching it for stone. So if you don't mind. Alright, looks like all the stone we can get into it is into it. Then it'll switch to iron, some scrap, then we might go for some magnesium, and let's see what other inventories have ore. Just this cargo container. We'll grab as many solar cells and other solar related components that we can. And then we'll pack them into here and head off. Alright, looks like that cargo container's filled up. There we go. Let's head on over to the ice base and get it done. Or at least get it powered. Alright, well, I'm going to use this bottom screen and enjoy a lovely video while we fly, and I'll see you in a moment.
Now, at the cathode, water is reduced to hydrogen.
Alright, I think 2 kilometers is a good distance to look away from our lovely video about the production of hydrogen from ice. We'll go ahead and slow down and get our base going. So I think if we finesse this just right, we'll fit in without an issue. There's our lovely little base, our exorbitant amount of ice. Now all we gotta do is plonk a battery and plonk a panel. Honestly, I think it could survive with just a battery, but I want to plonk some panels just to be sure. Isn't this a lovely type of thing? I just got lagged into placing the wrong one. That's fine. Then we can place some solar panels like so. Just for now, a small little array. And we'll, you know what? I like this. Let's use this. Let's make something out of that small mistake. Let's get this kind of block. There should be a left version of it. There we are. And now it looks like it's anchored into the side, which is fantastic. Alright, so let's get a solar panel going. We will unqueue all of you. And then just right click and see what we can get out of it. There we go. We are full of these power cells. It's fantastic. Alright, we'll head over to our solar panel that we started on, which was this one, the one with 4 in it. Now it's just everything but the computers. Once the computers are in and once the panels are up, we'll have a battery that lasts for a long time. Alright, we have 1 solar panel. Getting not the best amount of sun, but getting some. We could probably put that on a rotor at some point, but for right now, we need to make sure we're getting power into the facility. Alright, 1 more trip ought to do it. That looks like everything's successfully withdrawn, and now our ice base has a battery and a solar panel. So we're going to go ahead and check on this. It should be recharged in 1 day. So if the solar panel was to not have power, we have about 108 years before we absolutely have to return to this base to make sure that the power is good. Cool. So we'll just be the Ice Baron's mining facility. I am surprised that fits as a name. And can I add the apostrophe? Is that allowed? Yes, this is the Ice Baron's mining facility. Fantastic. All right, so let me make sure the solar panel's on and we don't really leave this in a good state. Cool. I think we're good to go, unless we have enough to build that other solar panel, which we might. You know, just to make sure that that is like fully powered. I wouldn't mind that. It looks like we do have enough actually to build it. Fantastic. And when the Ice Baron's tired, the Ice Baron must sleep. Alright. This is now safely anchored into the voxel. We'll let it gather as much sunlight as it pleases. And we will charge up this little battery here. So by the time we return, we'll have a nice full battery to get started with. Now it's time to head home. And while heading home, I'm going to ask you once more if you feel so inclined, and if you feel I've earned it, go ahead and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. And if you'd like to see me more frequently, I do stream every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday on Twitch, starting around 4 p.m. Pacific time. And if you want to keep up to date with everything, you can go to the Discord, which will all be linked in the description. And after all this, I thank you very much for watching, and I hope that you show up next time for us not to hit our base, because that would have been very dramatic. And until then, I really hope you enjoyed. It is time for the Ice Baron to sleep. Ice Baron out.